welcome to the new moon in Pisces. It's that time in the lunar cycle where we plant our intentions at the new moon. So this month, we're going to take a second and plant our intentions just like we always do. If this is your first time in this space, you're going to want a blank piece of paper that you will just fold into fourths. Remember, hamburger, hot dog. Or you can download a PDF that goes with this ritual anywhere that you have access to this video. So you're going to want to plant ease, flow, connection, and expansion. Or if this is your first time kind of going through the lunar cycle, we want to use words like perfect self-expression. So if you need more information on what exactly these terms mean, click around our resources. There's a tutorial that goes over where the concept for this came from. It's taken from Florence Scovel Shinn, who was a early 20th century metaphysician. So early 1940s, I believe, is when she passed, and earlier part of the 19th century. 1900s. I always get my centuries and times confused. Do you think because I was a history teacher for over a decade, I would have my life more together with that? But sometimes I don't. Because that leads me to the point of today's ritual is, as a medium, I sometimes have a hard time placing things in this time-space reality we call life here on Earth, because to me, when they may have happened a long time ago, or something can feel like it's happening now when actually it's something that's going to happen in a coming time. So as you learn to explore your spiritual gifts in this space, pay attention to the way that you perceive time and the way that you feel time. So we tend to think about time, this happened, then that happened, then this will happen, so past, present. I invite you to feel your way into a new relationship with time as you explore your spiritual gifts and connect to your higher soul self. So without further ado, here is this month's ceremony. And again, it is a little bit more mediumship based. So, the new moon in Pisces, the circle of life. We tend to die the way we lived. So what if you're a spiritual being having a human experience, and by activating your autonomy and personal power here in the physical, you could eventually choose your transition experience in the most beautiful and peaceful way possible. Relegated mostly to private places and closed off areas, public incidents or accidents aside, people are transitioning to the other side in every moment of every day. Transitions can be instantaneous, they can be prolonged, they can be painful, or completely peaceful, in solitude or surrounded. So considering that there are only two universally shared human experiences, that of coming into life and that of transitioning out, it's interesting to examine why it is that there's only one way to come in via the birth process through the womb of a human female. As far as the time of creating this video, that's the only way humans have figured it out. But infinite ways to go out via the death process. So facing our mortality is not typically something we dedicate much time or thought to in modern society. Barring the rare exception when confronted with the inevitability of transitioning to the other side of life, it generally goes that the quicker that we can put distance between ourselves and the death experience, the better. What if, however, that by taking ownership of your time as a spiritual being, having a human experience, you could craft a lived reality that matches the way that you would like to eventually transition? As the final sign of the zodiac, the energy of a Pisces lunation can find us in a vulnerable place if our personal boundaries aren't being respected or our beliefs are being questioned. So rather than fall victim to the prevailing viewpoints in our social spheres or allow others to take advantage of our compassionate nature, this moon's ritual will fortify our auras by anchoring in power and confidence that we are in the driver's seat of our lives to decide our final destination. So with love, light, and a license to live long and prosperously, I want to leave with a little bit of caution. This ritual is not advocating, intending to glorify, or otherwise encourage any form of unnatural death. So this ritual seeks to examine life choices that lead us to a place of final rest at the culmination of our lives' natural ends. So suicide is an unnatural way of ending a life's journey here in the physical and places our soul in a space of reflection that's not always of the highest and best for us as individuals or our soul group or soul families, meaning our family of origin. So if you or a loved one is considering suicide, please seek help via the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. by calling 1-800-273-8255, and that is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They also have a confidential chat feature, and you can access that through this portal or Googling National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. And please know that all of my love, thoughts, and prayers are with you. You have a gift to share with this world, and you're not alone. And if you need any additional support at this time, especially as this ritual may be a little bit deep for people first coming into this practice, please email me directly on otterdivinations.com, mention help in the subject line, and I'll personally respond upon receipt. Okay? So that got a little heavy, but the purpose of examining the way we live our lives and how that correlates to the process that some people call death, or the transition that some people call death. I just call it transition because our souls leave our physical body and then they exist in another time-space reality, another field. Where exactly that is, I can't tell you. I just know when I connect with it, where I'm at and what it feels like. And something that I often encounter in my practice of mediumship is when somebody takes me through their transition experience, it tends to reflect the way that they lived. If not always through their life, maybe at least in the last part of their life. I'm not going to go into specifics because I don't want to reveal the details of any readings that I have done, validation sessions, because those are confidential for clients. But it is definitely something to consider. If we're living a life in balance and moving through this human experience in a very loving and nurturing way towards ourselves, by seeing ourselves as eternal beings having a human experience, it really can help us shift out of this very human, what would you call it? Human aspect to make everything right now. Like if it's happening right now, it's always going to happen. But that's not really the way our souls work. So this is a long game. This is what I'm trying to get to. This ritual is going to help us perceive things maybe more as a long game. So we're going to do an exercise. This month's ritual is going to have a power posturing ritual for the aura. So it's how to get your auric body in alignment and just filled with vibrancy. Again, a lot of time in mediumship readings or private sessions, when I come into someone's energy, their aura might seem off. An aura is a field of light that surrounds our physical bodies, and it can be detected using actual electronics like magnetic imagery. And in the rituals and in the ceremonies, there's all kinds of information on this, but it's actually something that we can perceive with our physical eyes if we learn how to do that, or with technology. And if somebody's aura is a little bit cloudy, this is a great way to strengthen our auras and fortify our personal boundaries and kind of push any negative energy out and fill us with source and universal light and intelligence. Okay, so that's the ritual for this month. There's also one more. It's a double ritual this month. So we're going to also do a wheel of life, which is really big in the health space community or like the spiritual well-being communities, where you're going to look at 8 categories of life, which are your friends and family, your significant other or relationships/partnerships, personal growth, fun and leisure, home environment, career, money, and health. In that wheel of life, anywhere you want to adjust the wording, please go ahead and do so. And then go through the directions and ask yourself the questions. Really take the time to do this ritual to balance out your own circle of life. Okay. So that is where I leave you for this month. Before I say anything else we do, we could do a drum circle. Again, circle of life. This is the circle ritual. So you can also gather a group of like-minded individuals for a dance party, yoga class, team sport, or other form of physical activity that allows you to circle up and generate life force energy within you by getting in the position of a ring and moving your bodies and your energy to create vibrancy in that space, which is actually why I'm in a bit of a rush, because I've got a women's gathering happening in 30 minutes and I still have to get food in the oven and drinks out of the fridge. So I'm going to go do my circle up activity. I hope that you go do one in person. I also hope that you join us in the ritual space and reach out to me on Instagram, social media, and let me know what your intentions for this month are. Okay, have a wonderful new moon in Pisces. With love and light, Autumn.